Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to How to Attract Abundance for Scorpio in August 2024. Um, I have been I have been calling, not in any of these videos, hopefully not, thank God. But I've just been like, I keep telling people, I'm like, look, it's 2004 and I don't have to take shit from anybody. So welcome to 2004 or 2024, but I like calling it 2004. But I am not sorry for 2024. Okay. So how can Scorpio attract abundance, bolster, booster, and fortify that good abundant energy in August? Okay, so we got the Nine of Wands, very, very Sagittarian, very Scorpio card, about being defensive and paranoid. Okay. So, Scorpio, there's been a lot of stuff going on in your life since 2020, or since 2000, probably since the year 2000, but we'll say 2020. Um, and there's like this thing, like you're like wanting to reconcile with a lot of people from your past, and a lot of people from your past want to reconcile with you. People who you probably haven't spoken to for the past 4 years, or maybe for the past 24 years. Like I said, we have like the nine. Actually, there's a lot of things Jupiterian and Sagittarian going on in your life. There could be like a lot of competitions. The Nine of Wands. Sometimes the Nine of Wands is just like being paranoid that somebody might love you, that somebody might want to build in a team with you and be supportive and not support the toxic cycles of your life that you are trying to continue. It's almost like being a princess in a tower and being like, oh my god, I think that knight's coming here to save me. Let me like help the dragon out so he can't save me, type of thing. Like if you're Princess Peach, it's like a Princess Peach who willfully runs away with Bowser, if you get video game references. Video games. And actually, this really does talk about a TikTok video that I wanted to make about astrological charts, because the next card I see is the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune to me is like a fan, a dishwasher, a washer or dryer, like a large appliance that you need for your home. Uh, but it's also like the price is right, or the Wheel of Fortune, like, spinning the Wheel of Fortune and receiving a fortune. But it's also knowing your lot in life, and I think that comes from studying your natal chart. And there's this huge like natal chart trend on TikTok right now. I drink a lot of coffee. I'm like, woo, okay. So it's like really hard for me to do my Chris Brennan radio voice. But so you know, having knowledge of that, and then also just being prepared for things, because I've been finding it like really fun to just go on TikTok and comment on people's natal charts. So if learning about astrology is something that you've been putting off, or something that you've been doing your entire life, this might be your moment to shine. And if it's not from TikTok or whatever, I always say that there is an hour of every day where someone is celebrated, right? So if you have long hair, there will come a time and a place where long hair is in style and is on trend. And if you have short hair, there will become a time and a place where having short hair is on trend. But you can't have both, and you can't have both all the time, so you won't always be popular and you won't always be on trend, right? Like this week it's natal charts. Next week it might be, uh, like food that looks like slime, and the week after that it's like ice cream that looks like food, and that won't be your hour to shine, and that's fine. But that's also why it's good to know, like I said, your natal chart and astrology and the planets today, where everything is, so that you can have some type of foresight as to what's going on in the world, or what's going on in your world, and where you will shine. And then I see like the hidden influence in this reading. So whenever I do these advice spreads of how to attract abundance, I always see the hidden influence card. I'm trying to like talk slow because I feel like this is going to be really fast. I always see this hidden influence card as being what is actually hindering your sense of abundance, which could be some Sagittarius. They could be a young person. The Page of Wands is somebody who, they remind me of like Little Orphan Annie. You know what I mean? So when you're watching Annie and the musical, and she's not wearing a red dress or she doesn't have red hair, it's kind of takes away from, I guess, like the overall narrative of things. But whatever. So whenever I see the Page of Wands, it's like Little Orphan Annie, red hair, a red dress. The sun will come out tomorrow. But also with the Page of Wands, it's less of them being abandoned and more so of them walking away from their mother. So sometimes I do see it as like a Cubone who mother has tragically passed away and they're walking away from the memory of their mother while still wearing her clothes or something weird. And I see what is going to help foster, bolster, and fortify your sense of abundance and well-being is the Justice card. So that might be something dealing with like the legal system. So as a Scorpio, you might be trying to adopt somebody, you might be fighting for custody of someone, and I guess like you can't just like stab your baby father with a sword and take the baby and run. You might have to go to the court and sign a couple documents, unfortunately, okay? Um, as much as we would love to just, have justice by sword. But also, the Justice card is always an affirmation to me that life is fair. So, based on your natal chart, you might feel that you have chosen an unfair lot in life, but it's something that you manifested in a past lifetime or even within this current lifetime. So just remember that life is fair, no matter how bitter that might make you feel or how elated that might make you feel. It's just an affirmation that life is fair. Not to say that, like I saw this post on TikTok where this woman was saying, like, oh, haven't you ever noticed that like bad things happen to good people, um, and good things happen to bad people, quote unquote. But I was like, maybe your perception of a bad person is incorrect and your perception of a good person is incorrect. Like, you might have a preacher or a priest or something who you believe is faithful to their wife, and you see faithful to their wife, good to their kids, good to their community on paper or in public, and you notice like a lot of bad things happening to them. And then you might see like I don't know, like a drug dealer or something, or somebody who you deem to be a bad person, winning and prospering and having a good time and living their best life. And then in your perception, you're like, okay, I'm witnessing bad things happening to a good person, and yada yada. Where it's like that person who goes above and beyond to project the aesthetic of being a good person, may be a horrible, awful being whose good actions may have horrible intentions. And whereas this burglar, someone who probably literally walks around in a black and white striped shirt with a beanie on and like black soot around their eyes like a raccoon, like the burglar from The Sims, could actually be a good person. They could be like a Robin Hood character. They could be stealing and double dealing in order to take care of an orphaned child, whereas the priest and preacher is just trying to compete within this capitalist society and trying to trump everybody or trying to morally grandstand above everybody else, and project this image of being a good person. And you really do have to ask yourself, why is it so important to a person to project this image of them being a good person? It might be just so that when they eventually have to go to court, um, that they have this evidence. And the thing about evidence is that like evidence is usually fake, right? So if I'm a gardener and supposedly I'm a gardener, and I have all these pictures of the tomatoes that I grew and the cucumbers that I grew and etc. and it's evidence, right? And I'm like shoving it in your face, posting it on my Instagram. Look at my tomatoes. Look at my cucumbers. It's like this person obviously has a lot to prove. You know, they may not be the green thumb that they say that they are. So from whatever legal, illegal dealings, orphans, and drug dealers and priests and preachers that you're dealing with, Scorpio, I see that like from maybe even just like sometimes the justice card is just like calling the police or having a third party assess and judge the situation that you're in. I see the Two of Pentacles. So, there could be like a financial payout from this legal situation that is very small and minimal. But I mean, hey, 2,200, $2,000 is better than zero, right? And then I see the energy that you're walking towards. I think that Scorpio loves to they love to look at tarot cards and they love to read their astrology, but Nine of Wands, I think they're the biggest skeptics of it as well. And I'm guilty of this too, where like I would consistently go to a tarot reader like once a month, maybe even more frequently, and I'd be like, oh, this old lady doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. And then I'd be like, okay, oh my God, this came true. This was accurate. This resonated. Let me go back, you know? So this justice card could just you be using your own proper judgment of the people that are advising you. All right. I think that's it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.